Now there is one last API that we need to add. We need to add a chart for the dashboard. First, let's create the dashboard controller. Controller, dashboard, controller. Let's go to the dashboard controller, and here we need to add the route chart. So we need to use orders here, but we have to use them as a query. So let's get the orders equal to order query. We have to join this query with the order items. The second parameter is orders.id, then is equals, then is order items dot order id. So this is how we join tables on Laravel. Now we have to group by created at, because we need to group them by the date. So in each day we have to return what are the total prices, but it's not finished yet. So we have to select row. So we don't need to return all the data. We just need the created at as date, and we need the sum of order items dot quantity multiplied by order items dot price. So for each day we will calculate the sum. Also we have to name this as total here. Still, we are not finished yet, because the created at has a date and a time, and it doesn't make sense to group them by the time. But we can format the created at, use date format here, let's change these brackets to double curly brackets, and the format is year, month and day. Let's also group them by the date, and let's return them. We also need to get them here. Now let's add it on the API.php. Let's add a new route here. Chart dashboard controller chart. Now let's see it on Postman. Chart, and it's a GET request. So this is clearly a MySQL error. So the reason that we made this mistake is because here we need to put orders that created at, because order items and has also created that, and it will throw an error. So this is how it looks like, but we can see that we have only one date and the total is 0, so we have made something wrong. The reason is we have this get total attribute which is interfering with this query, so we have to change this name to sum. Let's try it again. And we have the sum, which is a big number, and all the orders are on the same date. We have created all the orders on the same date, so we have to change this now. Let's go to the order factory, and here add created add to be a faker datetime. And now let's run the command php artisan db seed class order seeder. Let's open Postman now. So we have a lot of orders now. Of course, one order is a big one, but the idea is that this represents a chart now. Let's make some adjustments. So let's create a resource. Chart resource. Let's go to the chart resource, and here we will return date, this date, and sum, which is this sum. The sum, I will cast it as a float. And let's go to the dashboard controller, and here I will use chart resource collection for the orders. Let's open Postman. So all are inside the data property, and the sum now is a number. Let's add also the gate authorize view orders. So it's the same as querying the orders. So my previous way of logging in the user is kind of not secure, because the best way is to use an HTTP only cookie. So now I will change the login that we used before into a more secure login. So to do it, we have to store this token inside an HTTP only cookie where the frontend doesn't have to access it. So to do it, let's create a cookie, and the cookie will be JWT with the name. The value will be the token value, and the third parameter is the number of minutes. So you can put however minutes you want. I put an hour here. So now that we created a cookie, we have to send it to the response. So in the return here, I will wrap it with the response, and in the end I will add with cookie the cookie that we just created. Now this cookie will be sent to the frontend, but it won't be able to use it except for authentication, because if we see the cookie here is HTTP only, which means the frontend only uses it for getting the current user. Now we are done with the cookie. We need also to create another function, logout here, because like we said, the frontend doesn't access it, so the backend needs to remove the cookie once we log out too. So to log out, we have to do it like this: cookie. We need to access cookie here, so like no cookie with big C, forget JWT. So this way we forget the JWT cookie, and we need to return the response here, message success with cookie. So we are done. Now we return the cookie every time we log in and log out. We use the cookie. There are still more changes that we need. Let's go to the config and let's go to the course file. Here we need to change support credentials to true, because the cookies are credentials, so we have to pass them to the front end. So this is done. Now the last change is the authentication middleware. So we send the cookie from the front end, but that doesn't mean Laravel Passport will use it. So we have to fake how to set the bearer token via the cookie now. And so what I did here, if you didn't follow, I will go to this function, authenticate here, and I will copy this handle function. And I will go back this middleware authenticate here, and I will paste it here. So we need also the closure. Let's copy the namespace here and use it on top. Now basically I didn't do anything here because I'm overriding the same function here. But what I will do here, which is really important, I will get the JWT from request cookie JWT. If I got the JWT, then I will manually set the headers. Request headers set authorization with a value bearer and with the JWT that we got. So with this we are just doing everything the same, but the difference is that we are getting everything from the cookie now instead of the bearer token. Also, don't forget to add it to our routes. So let's go to our routes, and here we need the logout route, which should belong here. Logout, logout.